Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ice Age. My name is Iceman. I've got some Halo 4 Ricochet gameplay for you today. I'm really excited about this new playlist. Been having a lot of fun with it. This is on Haven, as you can see, and basically what I wanted to talk about today was just kind of how to play Ricochet on Haven. Tips, tricks, general ideas of what you should do to be successful. Spoiler alert, we win the game, and I picked this video, because we do a lot of good things, and we also do a lot of bad things, and the enemy team capitalizes on that a couple times to get some points on us, and I wanted to be able to point out both sides of both the good and the bad to playing Ricochet on this map. So basically what I wanted to go over today would be topics like power positions, runner protection, goal defense, general positioning around the map, and how the ball carrier should act while he has the ball, and then basically any other random topics that I think about while we get to those points in the game. So to start out, power positions, and I want to talk about that now because that's what I'm doing at the moment. So for Haven, Ricochet, top middle is the most vital area of the map to control, with top Mohawk being a close second. And you saw me there on the enemy team's platform where I could see straight into their base, and that is for me the best position to be in to do damage, to help out your team playing Ricochet on Haven. You can also choose the enemy team's landing, like where their man cannon would end up, which is to the right of where I'm standing right now. I'm back on the plat right now, doing some damage, picking people off inside their base. And the reason that power positions are so important in Ricochet is that it allows you to play both offense and defense without having to drastically alter your position or your play style or something like that. And that's why those are so important. A lot of teams that we played against, a lot of teams that I've been on, have kind of ignored that, and those teams lose horrendously. It's pathetic to watch. It's not fun to play just because the enemy team will just run all over you if you are not careful with your positioning, careful where you're looking for both offense and defense. So I did want to give a quick shout out to my team in this game. I'm playing with Rage, another duo of friends, Alan Old School and Assassin of War. Really great job. We had a bunch of wins in a row playing Ricochet, so I just wanted to quick say thanks to those guys for playing with me and everything. So yeah, back on to power positions. You'll see me use a different one actually later in the game, which is on the enemy team's street. And the reason that you would use that position is that Ricochet spawns are not the greatest. They're kind of akin to Griffball spawns, where they're always going to be in basically the same location. There's not a big variety. So it's really easy to spawn camp on Ricochet maps. Haven, not so much, because there's 2 levels that you can spawn on, so it's hard to watch all of them at once, but generally the spawns are pretty predictable, and when you are posted up on the enemy team's street, you can actually force all of the spawns just by your influence. You can force the enemy team's spawns to the back of their ramp and right under their base, which is actually really nice because then you know where they're going to spawn, and it makes ball pushes from the street side incredibly simple. And we actually do that once later, you'll see it. Really good offensive play to have somebody on the street forcing the enemy team spawns to a certain location. So on that note, I wanted to say that sometime soon, I guess in the next 30 seconds or minute, you'll see us get a bunch of points scored on us via throws, because we basically lose our positioning. I drop out of my power position on top middle. We all bunch up in the base, and this is probably one of the worst things you can do unless you're winning by a lot or you're trying to run down the clock at the end of the game. So here's actually where I wanted to talk about the street area. we have the street controlled, so all of the enemy team is going to be spawning in their base, and that was a very simple 50-point right there. So you can see the spawns are still happening along the ramp until I push up into their base, and once that happens, they start spawning back along their street by the drop down, and they got behind me and killed me. So if you can hold down by that drop down, you can actually do a pretty good job of preventing them from spawning somewhere that would be, harmful to your team. So anyway, back talking about other topics again. You definitely want to have good runner protection while you're running the ball and not bunch up, which is kind of what I was getting at before with the bad positioning and everything. You do want to have people with the ball carrier, but not your entire team, because that makes it very, very easy for the other team to find out, obviously where you are, and if they're lucky, they can kill a bunch of you all at the same time, and with all of you dead, they can start taking the power positions, get a quick score, or something along those lines. So it's really not a good idea to have everybody all together. And a lot of this stuff is pretty obvious if you've played other objective games, like if you're saying, duh, Ice, why are you telling me this again? I already know all these things. Well, a lot of people don't, especially, people that play in matchmaking. They just kind of run and gun, do whatever the heck they want. Just try to kill people, basically, and if you're trying to, be good at Ricochet, some of these are good to keep in mind. So basically, talking a little bit about general positioning around the map to kind of segue out from runner protection and not having everybody bunched up. You definitely want to have somebody helping out the ball carrier at a close range in case, he runs into a couple people. But you want to have your other guys spread around the map, either at power positions like where I am here, top middle, or having them sort of farther away from the ball and in good view of your only. So the reason that this power position is so cool is because I can actually see my own goal from where I'm standing right now, and I can see the enemy team's goal as well. So it's a really easy way to play, like I said before, both offense and defense really effectively at the same time. So having good positioning at all times is really good, and like I was saying before, we really dropped the ball, no pun intended, when we were kind of like right here. We're all bunched up around the goal, but the reason this time is that their whole team is in our street. They're all pushing, so there's no reason to be top middle because you actually couldn't really shoot too many of them at once through that window. So now that we have the ball again, I'm going to that power position I mentioned earlier at the drop down by their street, and I'm going to force all their spawns to the base. And I don't hold this position for very long, but just long enough to get them that throw and just generally being a nuisance and picking people off from down here. It's really annoying having somebody on your street that can see right into your base. So even if you don't get a ton of kills or if you don't score any points, you are a really, really good distraction, I've found, if you can hold down that position for a little. Moving on to maybe more defensive topics as opposed to the offensive ideas that I've been talking about so far. Having somebody at one of the positions as like a goalie is a good idea. There's obviously medals that encourage that behavior. But having somebody as a goalie, like I'm doing right here, is really, really necessary for those throws. If your team is on offense and somehow you don't score and the other team ends up with it, and most of your team is overextended or out of position or something, you really need that guy to spawn back by the base or just be back by the base to be that last line of defense against a crazy throw. The throws on Haven are pretty easy to defend. The only one that can be a little tricky is the one from directly right below where I'm standing right now. You can actually see a sliver of the goal, throw it up there. If you watch any Ricochet throws video that you find on YouTube for Haven, it'll give you a pretty good idea of where you can get from. But all of the other throws, like across the middle, is easy to catch. The throw from bottom open ramp is really easy to catch. Throws from your top street are really easy to catch. So having somebody back, like right here, you're going to see he's going to try to throw it from our landing, and they use a bunch of other guys to distract our team, and when he gets pushed, he throws it in a panic, but I'm here playing goalie, So it's a really easy rejection interception for me. And I wanted to segue here into ball handling skills because I do a pretty poor job with the ball right here. I basically immediately die, and the ball is down our base. So if my teammate wasn't there to pick it up, that would have been really, really horrible. Generally with the ball, if the other team is good at positioning themselves around the map, or you just don't think you're at an advantage in a situation, don't hold on to it. And that's a problem that I still have to fix myself. A lot of people I see have that issue. Throw the ball, clear it, drop it near yourself, something. You actually see here one of those easy throws. It's really simple to just pick that off. But yeah, like I was saying, drop the ball and defend yourself. Get out the gun, do something with your rifle instead of trying to just beat everybody down or something like that. It's not a good idea, and it never really works. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on Ricochet. We get the final throw right here. It was a really good game. Really happy about this playlist and everything. So if you have any ideas or whatever, comments. Until next time, peace, love, and ice.
Goal! Game over. Victory.